Good evening and welcome to WMLT News. I'm Marilee McAuliffe.
And I'm Wesley McKinney.
With this harsh winter season, roadways are suffering a lot of damage from potholes. They're turning up everywhere and causing difficult problems for motorist tires. Rachel Lucas has more.
With record snowfalls hitting West Virginia this season, it's no surprise that Old Man Winter is taking his toll on roadways. Potholes are covering roads and adding extra wear and tear on your vehicle this winter. Drivers may be trucking through cold and icy conditions, but their pocketbooks are taking the heat. According to PriceGrabber.com, tire sales have gone up 43% in the last year. Many West Virginia consumers say they have already had to make tire replacements this winter. This pothole is about 17 inches wide and can cause some serious damage to your car, but experts say that only Mother Nature's to blame.
As snow thaws and turns into water, it seeps into the cracks in the road, and then it freezes overnight and it expands and it creates a larger crack. The next morning it thaws out, the water melts, and the crack is larger than it used to be. And the next night more water gets in there and it gets larger. And then cars drive over that surface and they start to crumble it, because even driving over a road without much of the freeze thaw effect will wear on the road and you'll develop potholes anyway.
But the snow isn't the only contributing factor in cracking pavement. Matchin says salt that is laid on roadways to melt the snow speeds up the creation of potholes in asphalt.
The salt then gets carried into those cracks and little salt crystals grow, and they expand and they push against the sides of the cracks and they make them even larger, and then the road surface gets even more crumbled until eventually we're left with effectively rubble. And that's what we're seeing, and we're just seeing an expanded version of that this year because we've had a rather intense winter and we've thrown an awful lot of salt on the roads. So the net effect is that we're going to see quite a lot of potholes this spring.
Potholes are popping up everywhere, and with no sign of spring in sight, more are expected to come. WVDOT is asking for drivers to report any potholes to www.wvdot.com. For WMLT, I'm Rachel Lucas in Athens.
With continuous coverage on this year's winter weather around campus, we have John Meadows.
It's about this time every year that this white winter wonderland that we all have come to know and love starts to slowly disappear. With the recent rise in temperatures, the Campus Beautiful is learning that the grass is always greener under the snow. But the snow melting isn't always a good thing. The excess water and damage from scraping leaves the Campus Beautiful looking a little subpar.
I couldn't imagine what prospective students think as they tour the campus. It really is ugly at the moment. It's muddy, it's unattractive, it's not impressive.
The warmer weather is also creating some dangers for students on campus. Right now, I'm outside of Ray Hall, and as you can see behind me, they've blocked off several of the sidewalks due to the dangers from falling icicles. With this unexpected weather, can we really expect anything different?
We don't really have control of the weather, and you can't expect for the maintenance department to keep everything pretty.
But for now, the roads are safe and the sidewalks are clear. For WMLT in Athens, I'm John Meadows.
As most people are aware, Chile was hit by an earthquake over the weekend. Saturday's quake reached a massive 8.8 magnitude with devastating effects. The massive quake triggered many tsunamis throughout the Pacific Ocean. Hawaii reacted with great urgency in warning and evacuating the island. Although the massive tsunami predicted did not come as expected, it was good. It was good real-time practice for such a deadly emergency. As a consequence of the earthquake, scientists say our days may be a little bit shorter. Large earthquakes, such as the recent ones in Chile and Haiti, nudge Earth closer to its axis, making it take less time to complete one complete rotation.
A law allowing same-sex marriages in Washington, D.C. is going into effect Wednesday. The mayor of the nation's capital officially recognized same-sex marriages as legal in December. However, the law is just now going into effect. Same-sex couples will be able to apply for marriage licenses starting Wednesday. There's a 3-day waiting period after the application is submitted before the couples can be married, so the earliest marriages will occur next week. States that have already legalized same-sex marriages are Connecticut, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, and Iowa.
In technology news, Samsung says it will put calling service Skype as an application on its television, allowing phone calls to be made on a camera right from the couch. The Samsung Skype enabled TV will range from $1,200 to $2,000 if bought by Panasonic, but LG and Samsung have not yet announced how much they will charge by the time this hits stores in late spring. There should be 3 TV makers offering Skype on their TVs, not just any 3 TV makers either, but the world's largest. The leader will be in plasmas. Time will tell if video phones are just a fad or about to become an integral part of the modern idea of the connected living room. Stay tuned after the break to hear about Concord's first slam poetry competition.
Welcome back to WMLT News. And now with sports, we'll send it over to Wesley McKinney.
This week in Concord sports, basketball kicks off the conference tournament. Concord men's team got 13th place in the tournament and will play Fairmont State in the first round. Their regular season record was 6-21. As for Concord women's basketball, their season ended with a final second shot against Shepherd in the first round of the WEVIAC Conference Tournament. The Rams made a layup with 1 second left, letting them beat the Lady Lions 59-57. This gave Concord a 15-13 record. As for Concord baseball, the team has yet to be on the field, even to practice. Snow has postponed the beginning of the team season. Concord softball, on the other hand, has played 10 games so far. The Lady Lions record has climbed to 4-6. The team played in Charlotte, North Carolina over the weekend, winning 2 and losing 2. If the weather permits, they will play at West Virginia State this upcoming weekend before heading to the warm weather of Florida for a tournament. The Concord track team will conclude their indoor season with a meet at Virginia Tech over the weekend. Then they will travel to Myrtle Beach over spring break for a meet at Coastal Carolina. For more information about Concord sports, visit cumountainlions.com. West Virginia University's 10th-ranked men's basketball team beat number 20 ranked Georgetown 81-68 in their final home game of the season. They will travel to Villanova before the Big East tournament. As for West Virginia women's basketball, who is ranked 7th, they fell to Syracuse in their final regular season game 48-67. They will next participate in the Big East tournament. That's all for sports.
And now for this week's Concord Minute, here's Kelly Connors.
Thanks, guys. Students at Concord are getting more creative with indoor activities with all the snow we've been getting. New sports include hallway frisbee, dorm room ping pong, and extreme bouncy ball. All of these sports are based on style points that you earn by bouncing the frisbee or bouncy ball off of doors, chairs, or walls. New sports aren't all that students are doing to stay active. There is a Biggest Loser challenge going on for female students. Whoever loses the highest percentage of body weight by the end of the semester will win a prize. For more information, talk to the North Tower staff. High schoolers looking to attend Concord should apply for scholarships of distinction. Students that receive these scholarships earn anywhere from $2,000 to a full ride scholarship. If you couldn't find a date for Valentine's Day, there's still hope. The men in Pi Kappa Phi are holding a Valentine's Day rebound date auction to help raise money for the fraternity. A table is set up by Subway Sides for silent bids, and the real auction starts Thursday at 8 p.m. at Subway Sides. That's it for this edition of the Concord Minute. Back to you guys.
An interesting class has been added to Concord's curriculum. Alongside a world literature class, Dr. Onaldi is teaching a new performance slam poetry class, which allows students to get in front of their peers and express themselves through the art of poetry. The students would come up with their own pieces and battle against one another. Writings. They were then judged to determine a winner. The first slam poetry performance took center stage last week at Subway Sides.
So one poet gets up and reads their poetry, and we ask for judges who are randomly selected from the audience. They know nothing about poetry. They give the poem a number from 1 to 10, and then the next poet gets up. It's a competition of poetry.
I wanted to learn more about slam poetry. I heard about it, but I thought it would be fun to actually do it.
For Ticket or Leave It, we'll toss it over to Jamie Lee Reichert.
Thanks, guys. A movie most of us have been waiting for is out. Shutter Island is set in 1954, and an up-and-coming U.S. Marshal, Teddy Daniels, is assigned to investigate a disappearance of a patient from Boston's Shutter Island Ashcliff Hospital. Daniels has been wanting an assignment on the island for personal reason, but as time goes on, he wonders whether he has been sent to the island as part of a twisted plot by hospital doctors, whose insane treatments range from unethical to illegal and even sinister. While detecting at the hospital, he runs into problems such as hospital won't grant him access to any records, and a hurricane cuts off communication. I won't tell you what happens, but you are definitely wanting to go see this movie. Another movie that just hit the theaters is Cop Out. Two longtime NYPD partners are on an unassigned mission. Jimmy Monroe, played by Bruce Willis, has a rare mint-condition baseball card, and when it's stolen by a memorabilia-obsessed gangster, Jimmy gets Paul Hodges, played by Tracy Morgan, to go find it with him. Jimmy is a veteran detective whose missing collectible is his only hope to pay for his daughter's upcoming wedding. And his partner Paul, whose preoccupation with his wife's alleged infidelity makes it hard for him to keep his eye on the ball. And finally, the movie we know we've all been waiting for is coming out this weekend. First started as a book in 1903, then a movie in 1951. You would think that we have seen The Last of Alice, but Tim Burton disagrees. March 5th, Alice in Wonderland 3D comes out with Johnny Depp playing the Mad Hatter. So I encourage everyone to go see it. I know I'll be there. That's all for Ticket or Leave It. Back to you all at the desk.
Thanks for watching, and tune in 2 weeks and catch us again. For WMLT News, I'm Marilee McCullough.
And I'm Wesley McKinney.
Have a good night.